We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Imagine what would have happened if we hadn't attracted the magic we had back when we couldn't fathom life is a fantasy, not with the vanity, not the way it was back then. So I grab my pen and write it down like a scripture. Mr. Mystic, making hits for the misfits. The show where you don't know what you don't know when it's on again with Sean and Jonathan. Yeah.
Welcome to Meta Mystics, where you don't know what you don't know. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
And today we have Crystal, a girl from the stars. Welcome to Meta Mystics, dear. How are you?
Good, and you guys?
Doing well,
good.
doing well. Looking forward to this episode. Just from what you've seen and the things that you're doing, it's really interesting. So looking forward to it.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. And I actually want to thank you guys for even allowing me to be on your platform and share my experiences.
Of course.
We do weird over here. That's all we do.
That's it.
You know?
That's all we do.
But look, yeah, we love your videos. They are some of the clearest, best images and videos that I personally have ever seen. You know, we've seen a few things in the night sky. It's hard to tell whether it's orbs or satellites, you know, with to the naked eye, but the some of the formations that you're able to get of whether it's UFO crafts, I don't know what the hell to identify them as, but you've been able to, like, do you feel like you're communicating with them?
Yes.
Wow. All right. I mean, how did all this start in the first place? Like, how does one start communicating with orbs in the sky?
Well, it all started, let me take you guys back in the day, like around the year 2021. I was living in Chicago, actually, but I'm born and raised in California. Moved to Chicago when I was, I think 19. My husband had to fix his immigration status, so we had to leave the country. We went to Mexicali. We had to leave everything behind. And I'm Mexican, but I'm like fifth generation Mexican. And there's a saying that we say between Mexicans, you don't know how Mexican you are until you go to Mexico.
Yeah.
So it was just very hard to adapt. My kids didn't know the language. We were by ourselves. We didn't have a lot of money. And it all happened on Thanksgiving. We were by ourselves. And I remember we couldn't even afford a turkey. I mean, that's how broke we were. And my husband was working, and we were right there in the border. I don't know if you guys know where Baja is, Baja, California.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we were in the city of Mexicali, and we were surrounded. It's like, when I say it's a city, it's a city. And we were in the backyard, and me and my children, we were burning marshmallows. And I didn't want to really like break down in front of my children, but I remember telling this guy, like, okay, I know I'm surrounded. I'm in a big city. I'm on planet Earth. I'm in, you know, the universe, but why do I feel like a speck of nothing? And I was really feeling let down, you know. I was like, wow, you know, everything turned their back on me, you know. And when I looked up, me and my children saw what we thought were stars. They were like moving together, like, you know, synchronicity. I don't know how you say the word, synchronicity, or how do you say it? Like together.
Synchronistically.
Aligned.
There we go.
There you go. Sorry about that. And they were aligned. And I was like, I think those are shooting stars. And I remember my daughter saying, no, Mom, those aren't shooting stars. They would probably go downward. And then they disappeared. And then every night we started going out to see if we would see them again. And yeah, they kept getting brighter and closer to the point that some of them were hovering on the ground.
Whoa.
Okay. All right. The story just shifted because, and we've had people on that have talked about that very thing. We had, what was his name? Symbolic Studies.
Several people. Yeah.
Symbolic Studies was the first guy that really that told us about how he got super close to him. If you ever get a chance, go follow him on Instagram. If you're into the like symbolism and the occult language and everything, dude is a whole like Wikipedia website. Like, it's crazy. But he was telling us a story about I think he had the night vision goggles. He had night vision goggles out one night, him and his wife, and he was looking up at the orbs in the sky. and he kept on seeing, and they were coming closer and closer, and they eventually got to the tree line, and then he saw an orb literally go through him, like through his body. Now his wife didn't see it because she didn't have the night vision goggles on, but he saw it, and he said that he like felt it, which is wild. You know, so and it's not that far out there. You talk about Chris Bledsoe, all of his experiences as well, and it's not even. It used to just be kind of like, you know, you'd hear stories mainly from people like Chris Bledsoe and a couple of other people, but I feel like so many more people are experiencing this now, and you have to wonder, like, first of all, there's no way this has been going on my entire life. This seems like a newer thing, right? Otherwise, you would hear so many other people talking about it all the way up. Like, I don't know. It seems like 2020 seemed to be some kind of turning point as far as, you know, whenever that all started and everything. Some people, you know, before, but started ramping up a lot, you know, after that. And so, like, all right, so you have this experience and it comes down on the ground next to you, and you're not wearing any night vision goggles or anything?
No, with the naked eye, and they actually look like, do you see like the Bethlehem star? Just like that, like all pointy. And it wasn't making any sound or anything. And we saw it go through a brick wall. But the curious thing is that in Mexicali, there's always been hotspots for these orbs, and we got to see them during the day too.
Wow. I wonder what the deal is with the hotspots, though. Like, what causes a location to be specifically like, this is where the shit goes down?
Could be
like a
late.
vortex. A vortex.
Yeah, vortexes. Sedona, you hear about it a lot over there, but I think even Sedona's on like the 33rd parallel or something like that. It seems like there's some kind of ley line or energetic, I don't know what the compression zone. I don't know, like in certain spots. I'm actually pretty sure that up in what is it, North Carolina, that Chris Bledsoe lives in, that is a pretty symbolic ley line as well. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it has to do with, you know, or the Earth's energetic frequencies that attract these energies and stuff like that?
Yeah. Only over there I've seen them during the day. Here I haven't. I've only seen them maybe like when there's twilight, but not like over there. And it wasn't just orbs. I used to see like these glass shaped diamonds, and it looked like, I don't know, you know how soapy water looks like the bubble? You can see like a rainbow on it. Well, that's what it looked like. And it was flashing, pulsating light. And we would see them go into houses, even in the nighttime. And me and my children were like, why were they going to houses? We used to think there were ships, that are like, ships don't go into houses. They were literally come down straight into the houses.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And during the day as well.
During the day. And the funny thing is, when I was in Mexicali, we were trying to film them and we couldn't. We just couldn't. And I moved here to North Carolina in the year 2022. And that's when I could start filming them.
Go figure.
They
it's in
allowed
North
me
Carolina too, huh?
Yeah. My husband's family lives here. All my family's from California, but something told me, no, go to North Carolina. So I came.
Oh my God.
I want to know what it is that we need to start doing, dude. To start having these types of
We need to move to another place, I think. Is
I
really
guess. That's what it seems like.
I don't know. We saw a lot in Arizona. Now, we struggle with understanding, like, because the ones that we were seeing out in Phoenix, me and Sean, in his backyard, we were seeing them like crazy, and it was like clockwork. It was like every 10 seconds there was a new orb that was coming up over the horizon and then dipping over the trees. And it seemed like they were taking the same exact path, going the same exact speed. Some of them were brighter than others, but it just seemed like...
Or they would just phase in out of nowhere and then phase out. You know, just for a couple seconds, and it's like, what? I don't even know what to make of it, really. I really don't know what it is that I'm looking at. You know, and I always try to say, oh, you know, maybe it's satellites, but we've done that whole thing where we go to look to see like where the satellites are coming from, like with the different apps and things, and it's like there's not another satellite coming around for another
20
few
minutes
hours.
or 2
But
hours.
we've seen
It's something
20
crazy.
of them, so it's like, what is it that we're looking at? You know, and so yeah, I don't know, unless there really is something to it, man, as far as like these orbs or whatever they are being something a little bit more than just lights in the sky.
I'll tell you what, though, I, for one, have learned to grow such a like almost an unhealthy distrust with our government that I don't trust anything they do. I don't trust anything they say. And so I almost like I come from a conspiracy background, so I'm almost like the back of my mind I'm like, all right, they're trying to fake an alien invasion, because you hear about this shit like I can't remember who said it, but back in the 60s or 70s there was one politician or something like that that said whenever you start to hear about the UFOs, that's their final card that they have to play. And so it's weird that it's all kind of happening now, and it wasn't really happening so much back then. I'm not trying to say that everything's the government, you know what I mean? Like, but you gotta kind of look at it with a healthy dose of skepticism. That being said, I don't think that the government can come up with a flying orb device that fades into and out of our dimension, and people are able to telekinetically or telepathically connect with these things. There's no way it would be that far, unless I'm just, I don't know, out
just
of
don't
the
know what you don't know, maybe.
As
right?
a famous philosopher once said, which we found out it was Socrates.
Not us.
Yeah,
not us.
So, all right. So you were never able to film it before, whenever you were in Mexico or California, and then you go to North Carolina. Now they're allowing you to film them.
Yeah. And we found out that there were like conscious beings, because one time me and my daughter, we were outside and I was looking at one orb in the backyard and she was looking at another one and she's like, Mom, it went into the house. And I'm like, yeah. But I'm like, how if I'm looking at it? She's like, no, it really did. And my son came out running. He's like, Mom, because we were in a 2-story house. And he's like, I heard somebody in the room, like on the top. Like I heard the bunk bed move, and that bunk bed was like the old school metal frames. And he's like, I heard something move it. And I'm like, could these things like shape shift into like, I don't know, physical form and move things? Oh my God. When I just said that move things, that was just crazy. That was so crazy.
That is crazy. Only the people on the Patreon are going to see that, but that was pretty synchronistic.
Describe what just happened, Sean.
A picture just fell as soon as she was saying that if they can materialize and make things physical and make things move, the picture behind her just fell off of the wall.
Oh,
yeah.
And landed on her head.
Is this Metatron
like a little bit.
Holy Metatron.
Crap.
Wow.
And he has the Metatron cue. And I actually have like a whole statue of him too.
Dude. That's cool, dude. I don't know. Something's going on, man.
Yeah, talk about first of all, we don't believe in coincidences. But my God, if that is a coincidence, what a crazy one.
That was
Thank God it was lighting up the whole frame, because that would have been a different message, like
shut up, you're talking too much.
You're saying too much.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was cool.
Well, I mean, in very one might say coincidental timing, that you're kind of down on your luck, can't even afford to buy a turkey for Thanksgiving, and then all of a sudden all this stuff really starts happening to you, and to you, for you, around you, with you. We're all living in one giant dream bubble anyway, but
yeah.
But you're having these experiences. Do you feel like it starts to turn around your luck as well?
Yeah. A lot of things started happening. I was like, please let my husband, like, it was so crazy. I'm like, please, whoever has his papers, just let him get approved, because we're just waiting for him to get approved. And sometimes you need to leave the country to do that. And then he got approved, and they're like, all you have to do is just wait for the what do you call it, for the date, I guess the court date in Juarez. And I'm like, okay. And then I asked them, like, please let it be so fast that he doesn't even have to present himself, because we've heard cases of that. Like, all you have to do is just go get your vaccinations and all that stuff to get back in the country. And that's when COVID was around, so he couldn't go in because he didn't have the COVID shot. So we had to get him that, and then we got a paper in the mail. We had to travel to it was Rosarito, and for DHL, and the paper, it said that he didn't have to go to the court date. Wow. They approved him. And that's when I started figuring out, like, wow, like they actually listen to you. Like, you can't be like, give me a Ferrari. Like, right. I wish, but they give you things that they know you need,
For sure. I know that we've actually, just myself personally and like my household, I feel like we've had experiences like that, where we're going through a tough time. And there are so many tough times that we've gone through that I really felt like I had no idea how it was going to work out. How are we going to get through this? And And I think back, I can't even remember those times because we just made it through it somehow, some way, you know. And I think there's a lot to be said about just putting those words out and asking, like, "Hey, let's have it happen this way," you know, because that would be just the best case scenario, and it works out. Like it really does.
Yeah, this is a really strange incarnation to like, and I think about that all the time. What a weird way to experience yourself and experience life by just being a human in 2026. And
Yeah.
like, it would be one thing if we were just living like a Sims life, you know, like you wake up, you get ready for work, you go to work, you come back home, you got your kids, and if it was just like that all the time, maybe less people would question it. But I feel like so many people are starting to have that Truman experience where things are happening that go against what we thought the laws of this reality and this universe used to be. You know, like, all right, you could say that this is kind of a regular life that most people live, and maybe people aren't even open to this idea of communicating with aliens or interdimensional intelligences or whatever, plasma some people call it, whatever that is. But once you see it, there's no going back. Like, it is now so much shifted your view of the reality that you live in that you can't go back. And so it almost forces you to look even more and try and find answers, because it's human nature to want to know what these things are and what, you know, are they charlatans, or are they really good at video editing, and how do you know who to trust with this kind of stuff? If it was one or two people, I think that you could easily say it and throw the conversation out. But when thousands of people are documenting the same exact thing, I think we got to look more into it. Like the fact that all this stuff is going on a regular nightly basis, and even during the day, as you were talking about, and more people aren't talking about it. My sister, as a matter of fact, and I talked about this on the show. We went camping. Me, my sister, and all of our kids. We took our kids camping last year, and in the woods, you know, it's really dark. There's like no light pollution or anything like that. And we kept on seeing orb after orb after orb. By the end of the night, we saw 21 of them, and they were all traveling different directions, west to east, north to south, back and forth. You know, it was crazy. It wasn't all coming from one direction. And we tried to tell my sister about it, and my sister's like, no, I don't believe in that. She wouldn't even look up. Because she feels like it would just shatter her reality too much if she opened her mind up to it. Now, I get it. I mean, we got enough shit we got to worry about without having to worry about interdimensional goddamn entities coming to beam us right up. But to me, I'm like, how do you not look at it? Like, by not looking at it, maybe it makes it not real today, you know, right. But you're kicking the can down the road. You're eventually going to have to face whatever is going on with this kind of stuff.
See, but that's the thing about that, I think, not to cut you off, but I feel like this thing, whatever it is, I feel like it can wear many clothes. You know what I mean? I feel like it can, like Crystal was saying, as far as like it shape-shifting almost, but I feel like it depends on where your mind is with everything going on. And so you might experience something that seems miraculous or coincidental, or just so happen to be so synchronistic that it almost feels like a movie. You know, I feel like we all experience something, I'm sure. Maybe it's not always orbs, but I feel like we just all have a different way of experiencing it, because you're going to be turned off to certain things and maybe more curious or more into seeing something else, like an angel or an orb or a UFO or Jesus or whatever it is. I feel like it's all in the same vein.
There's 100% things that are going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to. Like, I don't care what anybody says. The synchronicities are enough for me to just say that and have full confidence in saying that there is shit that is going on that we can't see and that we can't even sense, most people. But this is like the physical emanation of that, whatever that is. And maybe that's just how they manifest in this dimension or in this realm or in this dream or whatever. But it definitely sparks the curiosity. And with how much your life is turned around, I mean, This is where people take it a little too far. They just instantly assume it's demonic. I'm like, because you don't know what it is, it's automatically evil? It's fear of the unknown. And I don't think that people understand that is a fear-based mentality, not necessarily a bad thing to understand that there are certain things that we probably should be scared of. Maybe don't go into the Amazon with no protection. You know, maybe you want to go in there with a tour guide or a lot of bug spray or whatever, right? But like, I don't know, man. Like this stuff just boggles my mind, and I love talking about it. And as a matter of fact, Crystal, I pulled up your Instagram. Would you be okay with us like checking out some of these videos, because they are extraordinary?
Thank you.
All right.
And what kind of camera, real quick, before you even do that, what kind of camera are you using to capture this? Because I feel like, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, sorry.
I was just going to say, no, I just feel like every camera I've ever used, I'm not able to pick up the stars and pick, like, what is it that you are using specifically? Because I feel like the video that we saw was very clear. Like, it was very obvious. You could see the thing that you were shooting, but also the stars behind it, which is always so hard to capture. So, yeah, what camera are you using to
It's a Psionics Aurora Pro. But you can use like any iPhone 15 Pro, because before I started using the Psionics, I was using an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I could actually film them very clear because they're very, very bright for me. So they knew I didn't have the tech to film them, so they would get brighter for me to be able to film and upload, so people could believe what I was seeing.
Let me ask you. All right, so like you were saying, you know, maybe it was a little bit harder to catch them on camera before, and now it seems like it's a lot easier, so easy that you can do it with your iPhone. Why do you think they want to be seen? Because I don't think that they are like, I don't know, that we're like seeing through the veil whenever we see them so much that like we're sneaking on seeing them. Like, I feel like they want to be seen because they can clearly phase in and phase out of reality, it seems like. I mean, you were just talking about how one just dipped into a house through walls. And so why do you think they want to be seen? Or do you think that they do?
Yeah, I think they do, because back then, when I was in Mexicali, there was this guy, I forgot what his name was, and he was talking about orbs and filming them, because there is like I said, it's a very hot spot for these orbs over there. And people were making fun of him. They were saying it was satellites, it was a balloon, they were making up so much stuff. And I think that they're always in the sky. They've always been in the sky, and you know how people do CE5, some people pray, some people whatever they want to do, but I feel like they're there. They're passing 24/7 in the sky. They're like the police of the sky, and they see you out there because they can read our consciousness. They're like, okay, so this person really wants to see us. Let's let him, let him see us. So I don't think it has to do anything with CE5. They're there. They're all around us. They could be in the room with us right now.
Yeah, I definitely believe that that's how it works. I feel like lately I haven't really seen a whole lot of anything in the sky, and I have a feeling it has everything to do with myself. You know, like I feel like I started off this journey like way before I even started having my spiritual awakening or any of this kind of stuff. I always wanted to see something like that in the sky because I felt like it was just because it was fun. It was like super interesting. My curiosity, like, aliens, of course they exist. The universe is so vast and all of this. And then, everything kind of gets crazy. The world is kind of chaotic right now. And then all of a sudden it seems that aliens or whatever the situation is all of a sudden like a real thing that people are experiencing. And it was almost like started to become a little too much. Like, did I make this happen, like at least in my reality, like this is the reality I'm experiencing because for so long all I wanted to do was experience this, and so I don't know, I think I might have like shut down a little bit because I don't know what to do with it. I'm not sure what it is or what purpose there is for me to see this stuff, and so I don't know. I definitely feel like there's a lot to do with the person perceiving it, for sure.
Yeah, could be the person's thought process, could be the vibe that you're kind of giving off. Do you think that like is your vibration or your mood, I guess, that whenever you go out and you're looking at these things in the night sky, do you think that depends on if you'll be able to see it or not?
Yeah, and it depends on how they act too, because sometimes it's really weird when I'm sad or something. That happens to everybody. We feel depressed. They act like they try to cheer me up more. I see like they're synchron. How do you say that word again? Oh my god.
Synchronistically.
Yeah, like connected
Mhm.
to our soul, to our vibe, to our aura. So they feel what we feel. So it's like a mirror. They're like a mirror.
Wow.
As
yeah.
is everything.
Yeah, really. You know, and you're not the first. So before I say this, what do you think they are?
I feel like it's the building blocks, like the raw consciousness, the building blocks of our reality. That's what I see. Like we're all made of whatever they're made out of. The trees, the houses, everything around us. It's like a computer program and they're the admins or something like that.
The admins, I like it.
Wow. And did you grow up religious or anything like that, or are you religious at all?
Yeah, in Mexican culture, well, we're so accustomed to spirituality. You know, there's people, they call them healers. In Spanish, we call them curanderas, and they used to talk about, now they don't sound too crazy, but they used to say, yeah, the healers, you know, I talk to light beings, they give me the power or the gift to be able to heal people. And they're still around today in Mexico. Really? Those healers. They talk about light beings a lot. They talk about duendes. Duendes are gnomes. They're the Mexican gnomes. They talk about fairies. They just say that there's 12 dimensions. You know, even to walk into a forest, you have to ask for permission, because if you don't, people who are trying to build stuff, their machines start breaking down. And then the natives that live there, they're like, we told you, you're supposed to leave offerings to the duendes, to the nature spirits.
Wow, dude. That's so cool that they're experiencing fairies. And dude, I'm telling you, this thing is so much bigger than we can even imagine.
So this is exactly, in your opinion, you know, all the ancient cultures, whether it be in Mexico or Ireland or anywhere that have talked about some kind of nature spirits or fairies or anything, you know, like the fairy tale stuff. You believe that like this is what they were alluding to, like these orbs, these energies, that's what people might have called fairies?
I feel like there's different kinds of beings, because growing up in the Mexican culture, they've described them, and there's people that seen them and people didn't believe them either. But I feel like just like us, you know, humanity, there's so many races, you know, we all look different. We all speak different languages. So I feel like there's different kinds of beings. There's fairies, there's gnomes, there's angels, there's light beings, there's different categories, like in hierarchy, or how do you call that? How do you say that word? I'm so sorry. My English is very broken. There's like levels of beings. That's what I feel.
Wow, man, I just love this stuff. All right, I want to share the screen so everybody can see what the hell we're talking about here. Now, we did share, we shared one of the videos that you sent on a previous episode with our homeboy Nigel Perryman, and he was like, not even shocked. He was like, yeah, I see this stuff too. Like
he sees them during the day as well. Like he's definitely tapped in, you know, but yeah, there's definitely something going on, dude.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm sorry, like if this kind of stuff doesn't spark your curiosity, then I do a mushroom trip or something. Dude. Fucking open up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how this could not spark everybody's curiosity.
Not even a little bit intrigued, you know?
Not even a little. What the hell, dude? So all right, here we go. I just pulled up your Instagram. That's where I found all. Well, that's how we found each other, I guess. But is there a place where we should start?
Anywhere. You would like.
We can start right here then. All right, let's just start at the first one and we'll go down. All right, so. Here we go.
It's watching people with special abilities, biological phenomena.
But just look at the CIA's ESP documents, okay? Extrasensory perception research goes back as early as Nazi Germany in World War II, right? Hitler had a massive occult research program, okay? Millions of dollars dumped into psychokinesis, right? They knew it was real. They knew certain people were conduits for this type of electromagnetic activity, and they spent decades trying to weaponize it. After the U.S. won the war, we inherited everything they had, okay, including their plethora of research on parapsychology, okay, psychic phenomena. Our intelligence agencies study everything, realize there's all these people who have borderline supernatural cognitive sensitivity. And well, fast forward to the 70s, you have Project MK Ultra in full effect, right? I mean, is it starting to make sense? You know, they start tracing every subject who'd ever been on record as ESP positive, right? Putting their entire family trees into databases, tracking them, studying them, and
yeah, I actually, you know, it's funny. I did a little bit of research on that. I had talked about it before on my conspiracy podcast. As far as obviously everybody who's into conspiracies knows about MK Ultra, but some of the like Stargate programs and all of the ESP training, and you hear about, you know, all the big names that were in it. But then there was allegedly like it ran for like 15 or 17 years or something like that, and then they just decided to shut it down in like 1990 or 92 or something like that. And it's like, you know, they had like testing that they would do on there's something, oh fuck, what is it called? Like they used to go from school to school. It was called like the STEM program. What was it called?
The GATE program?
GATE program.
I was actually in that, but I don't remember a lot in California.
Really?
In middle school.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the GATE program, that was basically like government entities that were coming into every single school to try and see if like any of these children had certain weird abilities. Maybe they picked up on certain things that other people couldn't. And back then they would call it just like psi abilities, right? Like just like psychic ability, and maybe you can see through the veil a little bit more, or maybe you're connected to the other energies or entities that are on the other side of the veil. But it's so crazy that they just went around schools looking for kids that had these traits and had these, you know, attributes and qualities and whatnot. Because if it wasn't real, what specific attributes were they looking for? Like there had to be something that set this one special kid apart from the rest of the class. Now you say that you went and you got taken for this?
Yeah, I remember they used to give us sheets and didn't tell us like what to do on it, and sometimes they had like patterns and you had to figure it out. But I don't remember much.
That's crazy. I remember it. They came to my school. I mean, I don't think I got picked, you know, but I remember it. Like I remember it was like early too. It was like 3rd grade or something like that. 2nd grade. It was like real early in school to where I really don't remember too much about it. But yeah, there's got to be something to it, right? And it does make you wonder. Like there are certain people that are a lot more connected to this kind of stuff. Maybe they can look up in the sky and think about it, and poof, here they come, like Glinda the Good Witch, you know, in the Wizard of Oz. It's so crazy. But I don't know. Do you think that it's like a blood type thing?
No, I don't think so, because my husband, he doesn't like, he sees it and everything, but he doesn't want to mess with it. He just says that's typical Mexican behavior. Like we know it exists, but we don't want nothing to do with it. You know, I respect it and everything, but it's because they're very how can I say it, superstitious. So they fear it. I feel like the fear is that it will break your reality and how you understand everything around you. I think that's what it is fear.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's a lot of that too. And I think that that's actually why my sister didn't want to look up. It's because of that. Because some people are already like barely hanging on by a string, like by a thread with just what they got going on with this reality. And then you got interdimensional goddamn beings coming in and like, they're like, wake up, bitch.
Watching you sleep.
Really? Yeah. There's just so much to it. All right, so let's go to the next one. And here we go. So you're able to see, so this is one of the orbs that are right here, right?
Yeah, it was really far away. But it was very bright. And there was like a tiny one, but it wasn't that bright. It was moving and it moves behind the tree. But there's different kinds of phenomena, because when I was in Mexico, we saw this, like, it was like 6 soccer balls big. It was a cloud, or I don't know if it was mist. I don't remember that much. And there was like a light pulsating like in the middle, and it went over our heads, me and my children in the backyard.
See, now you can tell this is pretty bright because this is on shot at night, obviously, and it's on camera. So anytime something looks that bright and it's in a video, like it had to have been so bright to you guys.
Yeah.
Just by looking at it with the naked eye.
Yeah, and it's so strange too because it seems like a lot of them come around in like different colors too. When we were talking to Nigel, he said that he believed that most of them were red or blue, and that maybe that would be kind of like their marker as to where they're coming from, or maybe that's their energetic signature or something like that. I don't know. I think that assigning a color to a race of interdimensional beings that can manipulate light, I highly doubt that they would be trying to give off their call signal by by their color. But maybe that's what they're doing. I mean, if it's intentional and they want us to know who they are, and maybe they send out a pulsing color to show who they are or whatever. I don't know. Maybe.
The bad ones are like, we're red, so obviously we're bad.
We're the reptilians.
We're letting you know.
On one of the videos, I don't know where it's located, and I forgot to send it to you. So there's an orb that I call Billy because he was the first orb ever for me to see. But here in North Carolina on my iPhone, I was able to like video him, and then his face came out.
Whoa!
Wait, you sent that to like the messages that are our messages?
No, I forgot, but it's somewhere if you scroll, and it has his face. Like I think it's all the way to the bottom. I'll tell you, it's like a blue thing, but his face like literally came out on the orb.
Oh my god. All right, what does it say? Do you remember what it says?
No, but it should, let me see, just scroll down. It should have like a light blue color. It should say something. And then let me see.
I need to take off these blue light blockers if we're looking for blue, you know.
It should say I have so much.
This is so exciting. You've been catching them for so long, too. You got so many videos of them.
Sorry.
It's
that
awesome.
one right
No,
there.
I love
That
it.
right there.
Oh, go
right here.
Right there.
Yeah, right there.
That's Billy. That's Billy.
Oh, Billy. Let's go.
That's his face.
All
I
right.
can send you the original picture and video where you I think at the 14
is that like a
15 minute
silhouette type of thing going on?
Yeah, it's like his face. Like if you can zoom in, I don't know if you can, but he has like a pointy ear, and his ears are on his ears. His eyes are almond shaped, and he has like a lot of hair, and he has like two antennas. Now. He has two antennas in the front.
Oh, do you see it now?
Yep. You're talking about
and
this
his
right here,
nose
right?
and his mouth. Yeah.
Yep. Nose, mouth, eyes, the pointy ears.
And
over
I have
here.
a video. The video of it is down. If you scroll more, where it shows, but I don't remember what it's called. It should be the same thing, like light being. Video.
Holy shit. I don't know how the hell you were able to zoom in that far.
Because when I film the videos on my iPhone, you know how when you're looking through, like if you want to edit, crop it or something, you can zoom in frame by frame. So when I kept zooming in, I saw his face there. So I knew I wasn't crazy when I was in Mexico. Oh, I think it's that one right there.
Right here, right?
I think, yeah.
Oh, it might be a still picture.
Oh, no. It is a still picture. Sorry. Okay. I can't even see it from far away. Yeah, it should be there somewhere where the video comes out of him. Scroll more. And I have orbs too, like coming in my home, and like I had like a candle, and it even went inside a candle. And the candle lit up brighter.
Oh, inside your house?
Yeah.
The candle lit up brighter whenever the beings entered your house?
When the orb went into the candle, it was like one of these candles, an angel.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, I need to keep mine lit right now. I don't even have. No, I got a lighter. All right. I got a lighter. I'm lighting it right now. We're doing it.
Yeah. Or it's like a light source.
All right.
Like energy.
We're putting it to the test. I got it lit.
It should be somewhere. Sorry, I have so much. I don't remember where, but it actually shows it.
Is it going to be like as obvious? Watch, he dims out, and then this is it, right?
Yeah, it's a video. I let the video play of the orb, and then I let it zoom. But I think that one responds to my voice.
Really?
Watch, it's like nothing there, and then
people are gonna say it was a satellite, but it's not. I have a satellite tracker, and it totally beeps when there is a satellite above me. But that was so bright. I missed it. Oh no, look, it powered up again. Flash for us again, friend, please. It is August 17th, guys. Wow. Thank you, friend. Guys, look.
mind.
No, it wasn't that one. Sorry, my bad. It wasn't that one. Sorry,
No, that's
I
all
can't even
right.
see it for me.
Is this another still image of it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It
Oh,
has to
you've
be
been talking about
someone.
Billy for a minute then. I like it.
Oh, my son right there. But when you see the shoes, I was trying to show people that children can communicate easy. Go up. They can communicate. Children are more easier. And he's talking about how he does it. Like
Right
his
here?
shoes. Yeah. Okay, so say again what you just told me right now when we saw the two orbs. My son Jojo's going to say something that he said the reason why the other orb appeared. Go ahead and tell us.
So I was pretending that my energy, that it was shooting towards the Billy, and it went all the way over there. And I told him to shine brighter or make us see another one. And as soon as I opened my eyes, I saw the other one.
Yeah, because they remember how I used to tell you guys 6 years ago in Mexicali that they could read our minds. I mean, they're connected. They're zinc to us, to our emotions, to our thoughts. So they already know what we're going to think or do before we even do it. So, I mean, my son, his connection, both of my children are, they can connect with them easily. They hardly come outside because it's been cold, and they are children. They'd rather be inside sometimes, playing. But when the weather is warm, they want to come outside and, stargaze and connect with our celestial friends. But exactly what my son said, that what he does to connect with them. Children are so pure. Children, they're very bright. They are advanced. Sometimes we think that our children don't understand what's going on with the world, but they do. They literally do. And this is what we need to teach our children, And he was telling me that, but I shut off the camera when I was done filming the orb. He literally said that that's why the other orb appeared. My kids have a very strong connection. The only one that never steps outside is my husband. I wish he could, but he's just not into... Look at Jojo, here comes another one right now that I was saying. Look at, here comes another celestial orb. Look, it's coming. Look at, he's gonna pass by, you guys.
Wow.
Look at him. See, they're happy. They're like, Jojo, how come you haven't been outside, buddy? See, they haven't seen you. They're happy that you're outside. Connecting with them. Look at them go. You don't want to film one?
Oh, there's two.
Where's the other one?
Right there.
Okay, so say again what you just...
Where's the other one? See how excited you get? We feel the same exact way. Where's it?
That's why you keep being able to see them, and your son was saying, I pretend that I'm putting my energy out there. And it's like, I feel like he's just saying he pretends, but he's able to just do it. Kids just don't have as many blocks as we do, as adults, over all the years of, oh, that's not real. Of course, that's not real. Let me logic this away. And, all of those things. And so, no, they're definitely connected.
Yeah.
I love that you have this picture of Padre Pio too. So I'm pretty sure this is the story, but I believe Padre Pio was known for being able to astral project. Have you heard this?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So the story that I read was that he the one that was like locked up in not in jail or anything like that, but he like never left where he lived. Like maybe it was in the church or in the church quarters or something like that. Maybe he couldn't get around and walk too much like in his late days. And people had said that there was like this, let me stop sharing the screen here for a second. So the story that I had read was that Padre Pio, he was basically a hermit towards the end of his life. And because he was just always in the church or just always wanted to be there for people, whatever it was. And there were two different stories that happened the same exact night of people saying that they were getting ready to do something. And then Padre Pio appeared to them. And so it was like a jet fighter or something like that was getting ready to drop a bomb or something crazy. And he's up in like his jet, like thousands of feet up in the sky, right? And he sees Padre Pio literally just outside his window as he's flying this jet. And like he's talking to him as if the wind is not affecting him or anything like that. Like it's interdimensional or, it's astral projecting, and I guess convinced the guy to turn around and not do what he was going to do. And so he called the church or whatever, and he said, "Hey, Padre Pio appeared to me. Like, how did he do that? I need to know how he did it, because he was there." And the guy working at the church, he was like, "Padre Pio's been in his room all night. He didn't go anywhere." And then that same very night, there was another story of somebody having an interaction with Padre Pio. They called the church. "Nope, he hasn't left. I don't know what you're talking about," because a lot of people don't really believe in this. Maybe it's evil to even think that somebody could astral project. I don't know. But man, there's something that's really going on with a lot of these, like, and it's strange because it's like, it's venerated saints, because Padre Pio he's a saint, right?
The stigmatism, what do you call it? Not the stigmatism, the stigma, or what do you call it? You know how
Stigmata.
The stigmata. There you go. The stigmatism. The holes on his hand would appear.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something extra going on, dude. But anyway, all right. So I want to get back to Billy here, because this is crazy. First of all, how did you come around to? Did you just name it Billy? Did it communicate that that's what it wanted to be called?
Yeah, he did. Like mentally, when I was over there, he projected it in my mind, because he said the word Billy, but that's not his real name, because he says that where they're from, you don't need names. But he knows that for us humans, it's just it'll, like, if I were to name him, then I would feel more connected to him, like a bond. Right. And right now that you were talking about Padre Pio and him being able to astral project, right now that you brought that up, Billy one time told me that some of these orbs could be us, because time doesn't exist. It just doesn't. So that means when we're not here anymore, if you think about it, just like them, they can access the past, the present, and the future. So that means that you could come and see yourself if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, it's all us, if everything's just one thing anyways.
Yeah, some of these orbs could be us. You wouldn't even know.
Oh, I'm sorry. People are arguing. He didn't astral project. He bilocated. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to misspeak there.
Okay. All right.
So it says, no, Padre Pio did not astral project in the occult or New Age sense, but he was widely reported to experience bilocation, a phenomenon recognized in Catholic tradition where a person is physically present in two places simultaneously. Eyewitnesses claimed to see him in different locations globally while he was confirmed to be in his friary. Okay, so I was right. All right.
Yeah.
I talked about that a long time ago.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing. If you meditate and you visit another location, you're kind of bilocating then as well, because you're still in your chair meditating. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of the same thing.
You're out of your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Call it whatever you
want.
You're
in two places at once.
Yeah, because our consciousness is not just like in our body. Like it expands outward.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, maybe we could do it, but who knows how?
Right. So Billy, he gave you the message essentially that we don't have names, but you can call me this. I know you're probably, it's probably easier to know me as a name called Billy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you have this conversation with him. And is there any other kind of conversations that are going on that you and Billy are having as you're experiencing all this?
Well, I used to never be spiritual, religious, yes, but not spiritual. And they taught me to be more spiritual. So it showed me to see life in a different way. But if you ask me if I meditate, I don't, because it's very hard, because I have a mind that just goes on and on and on. And it's very hard to concentrate. I can't meditate. I tried, but I can't. But like, he doesn't tell me like the secrets of the world. Like, he tells me things that can help me in my life to be better,
Okay. No, and
I know, sorry, it sounds boring, I know, but I wish they could tell me the secrets.
No, that's okay. And by the way, anybody that says that they have trouble meditating because their thoughts are kind of getting in the way and stuff like that, you know what? One thing, because I'm also like ADHD like crazy. Like my mind is always going a million times a second. And so what I actually found to be helpful whenever I was trying to learn how to meditate was doing a guided meditation. Because you're not trying to shut off your mind. If you just like allow yourself to listen to the person's words, and it's okay to have little thoughts in between sentences or in between words or whatever, and veer off. But as long as you try and just follow their guidance, it's crazy what happens in a guided meditation. And even more crazy for anybody that's ever done a past life regression, which, by the way, I did want to say, anybody that is out there interested in a past life regression, email us at metamystics@yahoo.com. I'm doing sessions. I'm completely open right now. And so especially during the day, oh man, if it's during the day, I got you. Don't even trip about that, because we shoot most of our shows at night. But yeah, for anybody that's interested in that, and it's so amazing some of the people's experiences that they've had with that. There's a lot of people don't even think that they can be hypnotized, and let me put those worries to bed, because everybody can be hypnotized. All right. Everybody can. And I can prove that everybody has been hypnotized before. First of all, we already go through the 4 or 5 different stages of conscious awareness throughout our day, whether it's beta, alpha, theta, delta. Some people go another step further with gamma, but these are all different frequencies of awareness of your consciousness. Right. And they did a little study, and I talk about this all the time, but this is like the easiest way for me to talk about it. But they did a little study where they put these brain nodule scanner things on people's heads to try and see how fast it would take them to go into a light trance, also known as alpha. So your conscious awareness, whenever you're having a conversation like this is in beta. You're having a conversation back and forth, right? So you're kind of aware. But whenever you go into a light trance, like whenever you're driving or whenever you're watching a TV show, or you just, I don't know, zone out, that is going into alpha. So they put these nodules on these people's heads, right, to try and see how fast it would take them to go into this trance-like state. And they put a TV on. Nobody, not a single person out of, I think it was 100 people, not a single person could exceed watching that TV for more than 60 seconds without falling into a light trance. So every single person is capable of being hypnotized. It's about just getting out of your own damn way and allowing it to happen, first of all, which kind of goes back to my favorite tarot card, the Hanged Man, which is just let go. Just be comfortable where you're at. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. But yeah, you
just have to be open to it. I think that helps a lot. Like, you can go ahead and say that you can't be hypnotized, but as long as you go into it open to the potential that you could be, like open to the fact that it's gonna happen, I think that really opens you up. But which is scary though, the thing that you were saying about people watching TV and being put into a hypnotized state of mind, that just really goes to show that everybody's actually just hypnotized, like 24 hours a day.
Even if you think you're not, you are.
Right.
Most of the thoughts you have are probably thoughts
Not
that were
even your own.
there were thoughts that were stirred up by some other shit that you were probably watching on TV or on your phone, or a conversation that maybe your parents were having earlier, or whatever, right? But yeah, once we can kind of just understand that our thoughts are not even our own, like our mind is not even us. This is just the prism that we experience reality through, is our mind. It's a prism. That's where I've really trying to take it here. Like, I really believe that the way that we experience reality is through the prism of which we call our mind. And if that's the case, if the prism was already here, and that's just kind of like the filter that we see reality through, then what are you if you're not your mind, other than just the awareness of it?
Right. Which would be the pure light. The pure light goes through, hits your brain, and then gets separated into all the different colors, which you would call your reality.
Yes.
And you are just the universal consciousness that's always been.
Yeah. So, and anybody who's been listening to the show for, a few years, however, I think we're coming up on like 2.5 years that we've been doing the show now.
Yep.
I have hypnotized plenty of people. If you want to go and check those, testimonies, I guess, out, you can actually listen to some of the hypnotic regressions that I've done. We posted them as episodes. And that's something that I like to do, is that for anybody that wants to get a past life regression done, I am already the cheapest out there. There's nobody that is ever going to beat my prices unless they're giving it to you for free. So my prices are $250, but if you allow it to be recorded and posted as an episode, it'll only be $200. And even if you allow it to be posted, and maybe there's something like super personal that you don't want going up there, just let me know. I'll cut it out. We don't have to show the world. This is for you, first of all, and for other people's curiosity. So it's more so for the individual and anybody else that might be curious about it. You can listen in and see what you think. And I've hypnotized Sean a couple of times. You can go back and listen to those. Those are always fun. A third time's coming up, and it might be this week.
It might be, dude.
Might be.
It might be.
We said that we are not doing any psychedelics in 2026. That doesn't mean that we can't get high on our own supply of DMT that allows us to go into past life dimensions, right?
That's right, dude. We may not always know where we're going, but we're going.
Yeah.
We're going there.
Yeah,
we'll be there.
Strap the rocket to your back and close your eyes, baby. That's where we're going to go. But all right, I want to get back to Billy here. So your very first post I see was, you said, Billy, my cosmic friend of light. Would you?
Yes.
Is this a good one to click on?
I don't remember. I don't even know. I don't even remember what the video was about.
Let's check it out.
But I think it's a good one.
All right. So you have, first of all, this is amazing. So this was 28 weeks ago. So like 6 months ago ish.
With my phone.
That's just with your iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I can't imagine a lot of people were walking around with, professional cameras like the Psionics that you were talking about. But is that the reason why you got the Psionics camera, was because this was happening a lot?
Yeah, and it was actually donated to me by a lot of people, because a lot of people would be like drones, airplanes. So with the psionics, you can really distinguish what you're filming. Even if it's an airplane, you could literally see the details.
Really? Well, yeah, you're experiencing something far out there. And I could watch this kind of stuff literally all day. Yeah, you got this one rolling.
All that's
what
the phone is. That's how bright they are. If the phone's picking it up, this is like they're super, super bright.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal. Now, you said that you also experienced them during the day, but what we have found is kind of what you were mentioning earlier, that they are easiest. We've seen them most frequently at twilight, like right before it's about to get dark. Is that twilight? Dusk, dawn? I always mix those two up. But whatever it's called, right before it's about to get dark. Yeah, there they go. Is that two of them just passing by each other?
I think so, or I think it was passing a star. I'm not sure. I can't even see that far.
Wow. Yeah. Crazy.
Have you ever seen any that like morph? Like obviously you've got.
Oh, look, it goes down to that one.
Oh, which one?
That one right there during the day. That's them during the day. Go on where the clouds are.
On
the bottom of that one. Yeah, that's during the day. The only time.
You guys can see coming from the clouds, as you guys can see, it's not a satellite. Hi, Star Friend.
Oh.
Hi. As you can see, he is under the clouds. Can you guys see that? So it's not a satellite. To all my skeptics out there, and no, it's not a plane either. I'm gonna zoom him in. Hi, Star Friend. As you guys can see, he is under the clouds. He's right there, and it's super cloudy out here. And look at him go. He is so bright, and he's so happy, I can tell. He loves to be on camera. Look at him, guys. It's just like yesterday. And he is naked.
You know what? I love the phrase you have down here. A celestial presence, not a satellite, but a soul I remember. And I gotta say, it seems, and I don't even know why or how, or maybe we're just crazy, but it seems like a familiar energy about these kind of things for some reason or another. I can't put my finger on it, but I mean, what do you think about that?
Billy in Mexico used to tell me that he knows who I am, but I don't remember them. He used to tell me that all the time. And then when I was in Mexico, I would see a lot of them, but not like here, because I think he was trying to ease me in, like even till this day, what I'm seeing, even if it's been since like 2021, it's still like every day something new. You don't get used to it.
No.
So he told me that he remembers who I am, and then the other orbs are like my family, like my star family. But yeah, it's and it does feel like I've known him for years, like a family member. Like it feels like that. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's definitely something to it when you see something that bright in the sky and you know it's not a plane, and and the ones that get me that I've seen in the past are the ones that just like they light up, they charge up real bright, and then they just go out, and it's almost like just long enough for me to stare at it for a second or two, and it's like it just seems so deliberate, and the light is so vibrant, so like unlike any other light you've ever seen in the sky. And so, and I was going to ask you earlier, because there was one that I saw that like it seemed to like shift, like the light itself was like shooting off of the sides of it, and it was starting to like wave like this. Like, have you ever seen anything like that?
Yeah, they have emitted light on me, but it doesn't look like a flashlight. It looked like when you look like, remember those pictures were a prism, and then it kind of looked like bubbly, like if like little circles was coming out of it, like the light, but it wasn't like an intense light. It was a very soft light, but it literally hit me, the light, but it did look like a light going through a prism or something. Like I can't explain it, but that's what he was doing. That was Billy in that video.
Wow.
That is just so insane. Now, the video that really struck us was and I want to share this for anybody that didn't watch the Nigel show. But it was like a triangular formation, and all three of these energies or orbs or whatever are moving in the sky together, keeping their form as a triangle. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I have never seen a satellite formation in the formation of a perfect triangle. It almost makes me just want to pull out a fucking protractor and just see, is this like exactly a perfect triangle going on?
Definitely an isosceles. All right.
I don't know. I can't remember. I know it's not obtuse, but
that's right.
And obtuse.
But yeah, I want to share this for anybody that wasn't able to watch the Nigel Perryman episode. But here we go. You can see right here. Bang, bang, and bang. Clearly moving.
They're moving so perfectly together.
And then you got an orb that goes right by the formation.
It's an airplane.
Oh, it's an airplane.
That was an airplane. Yeah. But they do get brighter. Like each orb, it started like projecting, like getting the light was like getting brighter. Only the two bottom ones did that. But like in the very beginning.
Oh my God. And they are moving at the same pace, in the same direction, all at the same time, and they're flashing all the same colors. Now, unless this is a fucking Dorito UFO, which maybe it is. You know what I loved about it is that it passed right underneath the Pleiades. That's the Pleiadian constellation right here. I believe it looks like it.
I think it is.
Yeah.
When I was filming it, it gave me like a message. Because in my video on Instagram, I zoomed it in, and when it lights up, it was telling me mentally that, because there's other people who skywatch, and they were telling me that we're all interconnected.
I think that's like, I used to want to believe that. Now I just know it.
Oh, did you see that, dude?
Oh,
yeah. And that moment is when they told me that we were interconnected. When one light flashed and then the other one.
Wow. This is as synchronistic
that's starting
as
to
it gets.
It's starting to seem like Jonathan was saying. It's starting to seem like it just is what it is when it comes to that the interconnectedness of just all of us. I think just as humans we label things, and I think that's where we start to make our own little separations between this and that, and this can't be that. We do that. And even Billy was like, all right, just call me Billy, because I know you humans like to label stuff just to make sense of it. That's just what we do. But yeah, as far as the interconnectedness, I just feel like that's just making more and more sense. When I look at you guys on this screen, I really feel like there's definitely that one thing that is operating on just this level that we can't always perceive, because we've chosen or whatever has happened has kind of fractaled everything outward, and we have separate things. But
last year, I did a report to MUFON, but they didn't believe me. I saw what I think was a craft, but it looked like a hole in the sky. But before that happened, I remember it wasn't a dream, because I remember I woke up because me and my son take naps, because I have a toddler. Okay, he is a night owl. He doesn't sleep like until like 2 a.m. watching cartoons. And so I go drop off my kids off to school. My husband goes to work. I came back home, took a nap with my son, and I clearly remember getting up, turning on the light to the hallway, but already my sight was already like washed out, because everything, all the colors look washed out. And I remember going into the bathroom. I remember closing the door behind me. And that's when it all started. I remember getting like dragged from the lake. I know it's gonna sound crazy, I'm sorry. But I remember getting dragged by the lake like towards my closet. And my closet doesn't have doors. It's just wide open. And they tossed me on my bed and I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. And then I felt like them touching like behind my head, and I was shivering. Like my spine was shivering. My whole body was shivering from head to toe. It was crazy. Like I don't know what they were doing to my spine. I couldn't see them. I tried to see them, but I couldn't. But I could feel, because like since I was younger, I could always feel energies. I'm very intuitive. Like I could feel spirits, energies, and I could feel 3 somethings in my room on top of my bed. And I remember trying to pull up the covers, but I was fighting against it, and they were pulling it down, and they wouldn't leave me alone. And when they did, I snapped out of it, but it wasn't a dream. And then I woke up. I went outside. I remember calling my mom on the phone, and I was like, Mom, this happened. And when I said that, I looked up because I was in my back porch. It looked like a hole, but it wasn't a hole in the sky. There was no clouds. It was between like a circle and a triangle. I kid you not. And then it started going upward like a balloon. And then when it started going upward, it looked like, when something submerges in the ocean. Well, the clouds started like a thin layer of clouds started like coming from the bottom to cover it. And it just floated all the way up like in an instant. When I got in my car, the car didn't want to turn on. The battery, my husband took it to Walmart. It said that because we had like a warranty for it, it was drained. It didn't want to turn on. When my husband took it, they told him that the battery had like, it was like charged all the way, but it didn't work. So I'm like, how is a battery charged all the way, but it doesn't work? The GPS on my car, till this day, the screen doesn't work. And if you connect the phone, it glitches. I remember calling MUFON. I didn't want to, but a friend's like, no, do it. Call and tell them. And I did, and they didn't believe me. They said I could have seen like a military or an airplane or a craft of some kind. But I was like, what kind of freaking craft goes up to the sky? You know what I mean? Like it disappears up like a balloon.
Yeah, I've heard so many people have bad experiences with MUFON. Like, I almost question what's really going on there. First of all, like I said at the beginning of the show, I don't trust any governmental entities anyway. And I do believe that MUFON is, I don't know if it's a government subsidiary or what, but it seems like they're not interested, because that's actually something that Chris Bledsoe had talked about. And in his experience, he got MUFON to come out to his property, and they made a whole documentary, and it basically just shitting on him, and which only caused more pain and suffering than the poor guy already had to deal with in the first place. And by the way, anybody that hasn't read The UFO of God by Chris Bledsoe, do yourself a favor. It is one of the most intriguing, exciting, awesome, crazily revealing spiritual concepts that, and I don't even know. I don't even know what. It's just beyond words. Like, that book is so crazy, and all the terrible things that guy had to go through, and
till this day.
I mean, called crazy by his own family. Wasn't allowed to go to Thanksgiving because everybody thought that he was just some crazy UFO nut that was just doing some kind of drugs, and he lost his mind. Right. And poor guy's wife died whenever, what was he, 18 or 19 or 20 years old, super early in a car crash. And now he's, yeah.
Until this day. Yeah.
I'm sure there are still people that call him crazy. There's no doubt about it.
They're turning him. they're like bullying him online. Like I see the comments, and sometimes when I upload my videos, I mean, it's not that intense, but you feel bad. You're like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like they don't believe in me, so why should I do this? I'm like, wow, sometimes it makes me feel that way. I'm like, now I put myself in his shoes, and I'm like, dang, to be every day called like you're crazy, you're a psyop, like every day tearing you down. That's hard. That you need to be strong for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's,
there was something that I saw on that documentary. I don't know which one it was or whatever, but it was of Chris Bledsoe, and he was like, they had the nodes, I think, on his head or whatever they were, and he was just like pointing them out, and then like I think his eyes were closed and everything, and he would point, and all of a sudden in that direction something would light up in the sky. Like he's definitely got some sort of connection to whatever this thing is. Like
he would point in the direction before they even lit up.
Before it lit up. Yeah, and so like I don't know how you would just say, "Oh, he's just crazy." Like you're seeing it right in front of your eyes, you know. And of course, people are always going to have their own fears when it comes to things that they don't know anything about. You know, if it doesn't line up with their belief or what they've come to know, they're going to. It's just crazy how they attack people.
It's preconceived notions. It's preconceived notions. That's really what it is. People are assuming that it is something before they even know anything about it. And that can get you in a lot of trouble. Like, you know, what I find is that it's not the atheists that are calling people like us crazy. It is the religious people that assume that it is not all religious people. There's a lot of great religious people out there. I don't even mean to put anybody in a box like that. But most of the time you see are the hardcore religious people that everything that we see is basically like the devil gets all the credit for everything. And you're like, man, like you say that this is all God's creation, but everything here is all run by the devil. Now, maybe that's meant to be taken literally. Maybe it's not meant to be taken literally, right? Like even the Gnostics said that this world was run by the demiurge and that we're all trapped here, right? So there's many different ways to be able to look at it like that. But what if everything wasn't so evil? You know, like what if there was actually good here? Mm-hmm. You know? Like,
and that's what we're looking for. That's the thing, you know, we're looking for the light. We're looking for the good things in this world, dude. And it's like whenever we find something that we feel is good or makes us feel good, it's like that's demonic. And it's like, and you're not just picking on the religious people because they seem to be the ones that chime in. Like this is what we've seen in the comments and everything else. It's like you share an original thought and someone just insults your intelligence and then says that, you know, Jesus is the king and you're an idiot. It's like, all right then. I'm sorry I spoke my truth there.
You know what?
My bad. That's on me.
You convinced me. I'm a Christian now. You convinced me. You know, it's like,
you're illiterate and also, you know, the Lord is king. I'm like, all right then. All right. Sounds good. You spelled you wrong, but that's fine. That's fine. You know, I'm the idiot.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but you know what? You know, I think that there are a lot more people that are coming around to whatever this is and being a little bit more open-minded than there are closed-minded people. And you know, my very first time that I ever saw it, Electro Nick came to Baton Rouge. I was out there with Jacob, a staunch Christian. He looked up in the sky and said, "Yep, that's a UFO." Like, right. Don't really know what to say about it.
Yeah,
but
don't know what to do with it. But there it is. You know,
I think that's what that is.
I gotta believe it.
Didn't jump to the assumption that this was one of Satan's minions. You know,
right? You know, it'd be interesting if people would just say, you know what, that's interesting that Jesus or God is showing itself to these other people in just a different way, so that they would understand in their own way. Like that would be kind of a cool way to look at it, rather than going like, oh, they're idiots. You know, obviously they're stupid. You know, it's just ridiculous, dude.
It is kind of crazy. But so how has this, you know, kind of worked its way into your life as far as your spiritual practices? I see that you're a intuitive healer. And what exactly do you mean by that? Intuitive healer, intuitive reader. What do you mean?
Angelic Reiki, like that.
Reiki. Okay.
And and I like to do tarot too. And I like to connect people with like their loved ones.
Oh, how do you go about something like that?
I like to use tarot and oracle cards because it helps me organize my thoughts. Because, like I tell you, it's really hard. I'm very like, my mind is very hyperactive. So it just helps me organize it and it gives me more detail actually.
Okay.
Sean, I think she's doing the tarot reading tonight.
I'm hoping you have your tarot deck on you.
Or your oracle cards.
Or yeah, I have my oracle card. Oracle,
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. You could do the tarot card pull tonight.
Yeah, we usually do a tarot pull every single episode, normally at the end of the episode, and kind of we feel like it energetically encompasses the entirety of what we were talking about. And strangely, synchronistically enough, it works every time. It ain't like Panther. What is it called? Like
Sex Panther.
Sex Panther. 60% of the time, all the time. It's not like that. It's 100% of the time. It's crazy.
Right.
And we found that, of course you're going to get shocked every single time, but it just adds to the magic of this reality because it can feel mundane at times. 100%. Maybe you get tired of working or tired of changing diapers if you got a baby, or you know what I mean, dealing with the day-to-day, doing grocery shopping or whatever. It can seem a little bit mundane, but there's a little spark that just makes it that much easier, and it turns the mundane into an even more exciting thing to do. Because first of all, you know that if something is happening out of your line of sight or outside of this dimension, outside of this veil, that if it's happening at some times, it's probably happening all the time. We already don't have very much access to the light paradigm, right? Like we can only see 0.0035% of it or something like that. Same thing, light spectrum. Yeah. And the same thing goes for the sound. So obviously we are very limited on our capabilities of being able to perceive what is going on. So I think that even for me, like whenever I see something like this, I'm like, it just reminds me that it's always going on. It's not just at that one little moment, that it's always all the time happening, especially if there's no such thing as time anyway. Or maybe it's definitely not linear. I know that, but yeah, I'm actually pretty interested. Do you want to do an oracle reading?
The only thing I have with me are my angel numbers.
Oh no, that's not going to work for. I'm just kidding.
Bring it on.
Especially you got 333, 777, 444, 888, all in the background, all numbers that, I mean, they're perfect. Our shout out to our homie Optimistic Banks, always known for the 333s. We start seeing them every day now, and it's just perfect that you have that. And the 444, that's an Electro Nick thing, it just reminds me of that. And yeah, so very interested to see what you think about this.
Do you guys want me to pull a card now or later?
Sure, yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, let's see.
Weird.
Let's get weirder.
Yeah, weirder, yeah. Yeah. By the way, I love your sweater and your hat. It's perfect.
Oh, thank you. It was a Valentine's Day gift from my husband. Like, he's not a believer, but he's like, I know. He's like, I know she'll like this.
He knows how to make you happy.
Let me take this to my weird wife.
That's great.
Okay. I'll just pull up the first one. And it's 555 and it says change. It says change, encouragement, support, obstacle, battle, calling, construction, creative work. You're going to level up. It might not feel good intentionally, but it will prepare you to handle the greater things in life for your highest good. That is the why you've been looking for. Push through it. There's a reward waiting at the finish line.
It's a great message. I think we all kind of needed that one, just as of late. Which makes sense, when you think of the number 5, because right before that you got 4. So it's just everything's kind of balanced, you know what I mean? It's almost like just a rectangle or a square. It's all sturdy, and then all of a sudden you get 5. You got one more thing kind of lingering around, and you don't know where to put it yet, and that's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, well, you have the pentagrams, pentacles, all made of 5 there. Mm-hmm. It's pretty amazing. And actually, I believe in the tarot, 5 is usually seen as kind of like not necessarily a bad thing, but kind of like a foundation shaker, Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, hey, talk about, shaking foundations right here on this episode. It can definitely be a full-on paradigm shift. If you find yourself talking shit in the comments underneath Crystal's videos, you're just looking at satellites, you're just looking at airplanes, and then you see that goddamn orb just go right through your body. Shove that satellite up your ass. It's not happening. That's not what's going on here. You are
not a satellite there.
Not a satellite.
No,
I mean, I
no
think
way.
you'd probably be dead if a satellite went
Right.
through you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is so
You would
much
become
fun.
an orb at that point. You know.
What do you?
Yeah.
That's interesting. What do you think we actually are when we're not humans? Like, because you're saying that Billy is like, yo, you remember me. Like, we are part of some kind of maybe star family, or I don't know. We are all kind of like sparks of the source or whatever. But whenever he says that, you know, that you guys are familiar outside of this incarnation, what do you think that means?
He, just like he said, the sparks of source. He tells me that God is light, so God is nothing. He's not. He doesn't have a gender, a physical body. He's just light, and they emit from there. And you could say consciousness, because that's what it is, for consciousness, and that where they're from. Well, this is just my perspective. What I'm gonna say, so it's gonna sound crazy. He told me that, you know how you see the stars in the sky, that they're not literally stars. They're just like you're seeing doorways to source, to the light world where they're from.
Oh, all right. You're speaking
like
our
it.
language now.
I like it.
Yeah, 100%. Anybody, and dude, this is actually really cool, but they say that if you go outside at night and you just sit down and you meditate, you can stand up, meditate, however you want to go about it, and you focus on only one star for just a few minutes. Just try and clear your mind of everything else and just put your full attention on one star, that weirdly enough, you'll start to sync up with it. And whenever you start to sync up with it, maybe that's where the channeling starts to come or something along those lines. And I feel like, man, I've been doing that ever since I was a little kid, to be honest with you, almost unknowingly. I would always stare up at the Pleiadian, the Pleiadian star cluster. And, it just always seemed like so mystical to me. It's like all those stars are so close together and they're all almost like working together. You know, all the little kids in my neighborhood, they would always pick, you know, the North Star or a star within one of the Dippers or a specific constellation or whatever. But there's always been something about the Pleiades that's always been magnetized to me. And I don't know. Maybe if you just sit out there long enough and you try and stare up at it and connect to its energy, that maybe you're right. Maybe they could be little portals. And there's been a lot of people that have even done sun gazing. They'll stare up at the sun and something strange starts to happen to them. Not beyond just
They
your
go
eyes
blind.
burning. Yeah, beyond the blindness. But like,
Sorry.
yeah. Well, no, that's actually, we had Santos Bonacci on the show like last week, and he was talking about sun gazing, and you know, the more you do it, the more your eyes get accustomed to it. So don't stare up at it as it's like noon or something.
I remember when you were first telling me about this, I was like, don't do that. I was like, I don't think you should be staring at the sun, dude.
But there's
You're
something,
like, no, just do it at sun, you know, when the sun's going down. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's so strange, dude. If you just start to stare at it, it starts to change. You know, the color of the sun changes, and you almost feel like you're, I don't know, in the presence of something that is much more than just a burning ball of gas or whatever, you know? Like there's more to it than that. And it almost feels like it's some kind of portal or something like that. And people have always sensed some kind of connection with the moon, right? And so there's something going on up in the sky that we don't have access to, and the only way we have any kind of access to it is through government programs such as NASA and everything. And I'm sorry, they're already taking a lot of our tax dollars. And what was it, like it was the seventh thing that they just failed. The IRS just failed its yeah, it failed it again. Its audit. For like the 7th straight time. It's like, I'm sorry. Like how are you gonna ask for our tax money?
They should be good with numbers, though. You know what I mean? I feel like.
Yeah, well, turns out they're the worst
mathematicians,
with them.
right? Seems
and
like.
so I've always had a distrust with that. So I'm not trying to say that there aren't other planets out there, or there aren't other stars or whatever, but maybe there's something else entirely. And so you think that maybe the stars are legit, like little portals to the source itself or to other
The light
realities?
is like the source, the light source of God coming out through there. Their light world. That's what's emanating.
Oh,
Interesting.
yes.
All right.
Hey, dude.
You're gonna have to do some more sun gazing then.
Gonna have to.
And
It
then
is a star after all. That's
one
the
time I was
closest one we
outside,
got.
I got to download it. You know how they call them planets? Because sometimes they're like, I feel like maybe outer space isn't what they're telling us. Maybe it's not like a physical place, but a conscious place. You know, maybe this is a dimension. And maybe that's why they just put a T at the end for like, it's a plane. It could be like planes of consciousness. So if somebody says, this is just my perspective, like they say, oh, I come from the Andromeda, and, you know, it's just consciousness, their soul from there, from that soul tribe. That's what I feel it is.
Like
I don't know.
plane, like planettes. Yeah, like small,
Yeah, like a
small
plane.
planes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I feel like. I don't know.
There's a lot of flat earthers that will say the same, but you know what? I mean, I don't care if you're flat earther, you're a ball earther. Maybe you think it's all a dream. It doesn't even fucking matter to me. I used to be hard on the flat earth stuff. Don't get me wrong. It was like one of the most mind shattering things, but
we're on all of the planes.
And
that's what we're trying to be.
And this is something that I've personally experienced through psychedelics and meditation and past life regressions and even in dreams and stuff like that, to where I feel like I've gone somewhere else. Anybody that's ever felt like that. And I'm not talking about, you know, instead of your name being Jeff, it's now Fred and you have a different wife and different kids. I'm talking about even beyond that. I'm talking about like you're speaking a different language, and maybe it's telepathic, and you're not seeing the same steel jungles of New York City or anything like that. You're seeing different things, and it feels normal when you're there, right? Like, but there was this one time whenever me and Sean were tripping, and I remember having this weird thing that happened to me where, and I didn't really fully understand it at the time, but it's something that I think about just about every day, and that is, so we were I think Sean went to sleep for the night, and so I was just kind of like out in the living room, just going on my own journey. And you almost feel like, I don't know about anybody else, but it literally feels like if my mind is made of glass, I am now seeing it fracture. And whenever that's happening, it's almost like I can see like these little glimpses of light through the cracks to see other realities. And whenever I see through those other realities, and this is the only way I know how to explain it, but whenever I see through that light, it's almost like I see other realities almost using the same words that we do, but the words mean entirely different things. So I could say, I don't know, God, for example, right? But in their world, God means like tree or something, you know, like it's entirely different, saying the same language, but the words mean different things. And maybe that was just like, I don't know, a little taste of it or something like that. But I think that there are definitely other realities out there, other realms out there, other planes of existences out there. A lot like, you know, people always talk about like Grand Theft Auto, about how the farther you go, the map just keeps on rendering, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe this reality is just our map that just keeps on rendering with every step that we take. And they say that our mind is filling in the blanks at all times anyway. Why would our mind need to fill in the blanks if reality is as stable and physical as we thought it was?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude.
You know?
Who knows? Who knows what this place is, dude? You know, I definitely feel like there's definitely more happening that we're just not privy to. You know, and I can't say exactly what that is or why it is, but I definitely have that feeling, you know, and maybe that's another human thing that we experience. I don't know. I go back and forth, you know, but I still feel like there's just something going on all the time that we're just not aware of. And we experience that through our synchronicities and through the orbs and through the things that just seem so physically impossible to happen in the timely manner that it did. And yeah, this is just a much more magical place than we thought, you know, and we're starting to remember, I think.
I think we are starting to remember, as Crystal alluded to right there. Now, where do you think this goes? Do you think that these experiences evolve? Like, is this almost like soft disclosure? Or what do you think happens from here on out?
I think this is disclosure. I think disclosure is already happening. We're just awakening to our senses because we lost them with technology. I mean, our ancestors were outside, you know what I mean? They were never inside. We're inside with artificial light all the time. We're never outside. And they had, time to think about life and look up at the stars. But we lost that. We lost those senses. As we started getting civilization started getting modernized. And I think technology is good, but I think it does have a play in it of why we lost our senses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, technology is good until it creates echo chambers and things of that nature. You go out and you hear people saying the same things, like exactly like verbatim, as far as what it is that they're saying or the message behind what they're trying to say. That's where technology is kind of like leading us all astray, I think. There's just like several bubbles of people saying the same thing. And I don't know. I just try hard not to be in any one of those bubbles. So we tend to say some pretty weird shit because of it.
Yeah. I've never done mushrooms or nothing like that, but I've had dreams with beings of light and I could see them, not like a figure. Like I could see beings of light, but like sparks around people. I'll see like sparks, or I'll see like a light just like a flashlight if it would have just turned on and off. But that's how I see them, the beings of light. And when I dream about them, sometimes I dream about the orbs. They still look like light form. And I've asked them, can they just please see your true form? Like, I hope you're not lying to me. I always tell them that you're not letting me see like your true form. But even when I'm dreaming about them, is because they're already over my home. And I remember one time that I thought I was awake. I've ever had a dream that you feel like you were awake, but you were asleep. And then you wake up, you're like, damn, it was a dream. I wasn't even awake. Well, I remember I was walking like out of my house, going down the stairs, and then my children were waiting in the car. And then for some reason I said, how would I know if I'm in the Matrix or in reality? Like, how would I know this is reality or a Matrix?
Right.
And I remember one of the orbs like flash in a cloud like this. So I don't know if that was a yes or no. And then I woke up, I'm like, what? I was asleep. Then I remember having a dream with beings of light, but they were like rainbow color. They had a silhouette like of a human, but they were just like all the colors of the rainbow. So that's like on my Facebook, you'll see that I have like angels with their wings, but they don't have no physical human features, but they do have silhouettes, and they're all the colors of the rainbow. And I remember that in the dream, I was going through a tunnel and I was seeing like shapes and stuff. And so one of them had eyes on it. And then at the end, I remember seeing the beings of light. They weren't talking or anything. And then I was like, wow, I wonder if that's what we look like, our souls, like all the rainbows of the color. Because you know how auras exist? You know how people say, I can see your aura, you're blue, you're green. Or you could, So I feel like maybe that's what our soul looks like all the colors of the rainbow. I don't know.
Interesting. It's funny you were saying, or just to go back a little bit, you were saying about, what if this is all the dream, or some sort of Matrix or whatever, because you were already convinced twice, like in the last few hours before that. You were in a dream, thought you woke up from that dream, so convinced that you did so, and then you woke up again, and now here you are, and it's like, I thought that too. Like, this definitely could be some sort of, I don't even want to say simulation, because that, I think that turns people off, but I feel like it's definitely some sort of dream or some sort of, I just don't know.
Like Inception.
I don't know. Yeah, like a dreamception, for sure.
Very well could be, but it's interesting that we were just talking about disclosure, and I don't know if you've guys seen the movie trailer yet, but there's a movie,
Disclosure movie,
Disclosure Day.
Yeah,
and it's coming out.
That looks interesting.
It's coming out in June of this year. The same guy, it's Steven Spielberg. He directed Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right?
Yep.
So what a strange time that all of this.
E.T., right? E.T. or no?
Was it E.T.? Let me see.
I could be wrong. Now I'm embarrassed.
You might be right.
He did a lot of alien stuff, I feel like.
Yeah, it was E.T. Yeah, he directed E.T.
Okay.
How about that? Wow. Okay, yeah, there's something that's going on.
Yeah.
And it feels like this year, you know, and this is exactly what Chris Bledsoe was talking about. So he's been saying it for I don't even know how long, talking about Easter of 2026. And maybe so it's strange that so Easter of 2026 is the date that Chris Bledsoe was talking about, and then 2 months later, this movie's getting ready to come out, Disclosure Day.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's a weird parallel.
Maybe it's a, art imitating life imitating art type of situation. I don't know, but I feel like, the best case scenario for whatever's going to happen, around that time that's predicted, just people just kind of wake up to the understanding that, like, we're all here. Like, regardless of what you think it is, where we came from or where we're going, it's like, we're all here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're here now on this ball or this plane or whatever it is. It's like, just like it's okay for other people to believe in other stuff. That's it, dude. Like, that would be cool. That would be the shift. Like, oh, you believe in that? Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why you would, but it's not my jam. But whatever, here we are. Let's go eat something or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't be scared.
So strange.
Fear not. Says it 365 times throughout the Bible. Fear not, or do not fear. Fear is an illusion. And my brother actually told me one time that fear is an acronym: false evidence appearing real. And
that's brilliant.
It makes the most amount of sense. Think about it.
That's good.
Anytime you're scared, oh, that sound. Oh, it sounds like something. And now you're you're manifesting that thing into your reality now. Because that fear is a vibration that can manifest just as every other vibration can. But fear is one of the strong ones. So yeah, let's stay in fear. Let's worry about this. Let's worry about that. Right. And the next thing you know, the aliens are going to come here. They're going to put a straw into the earth and just suck all the human flesh out of this reality. Right. Like, why live in that reality? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude, our brain is like a potential generator. Like any potentiality it can come up with, it will come up with that. I feel like if we're open to it. But if we're in that vibration of fear, dude, just think of the potentials it's going to come up with. It's just going to come up with every boogeyman you can imagine.
Dude, I heard somebody earlier before the show, I heard somebody saying that even Bigfoot is demonic. I'm like, come on,
I thought Bigfoot was like the only one that was like kind of safe.
Yeah.
Everyone understands. It's just Bigfoot. You know what I mean? We got stickers, forum, t-shirts. It's like, I thought everybody was cool with Bigfoot.
Well, Bigfoot's demonic now. So
what an illusion I was living in until now. All right.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, look, we love the message that you're putting out there. We love your social media, all of the videos that you're able to capture. And I think that if anything, it'll spark some curiosity out there. And then maybe it'll allow people to know that they can do it too. You don't have to be Chris Bledsoe on the grand scale of everything. And no, everybody has the capability of coming in contact with whatever this is. And it seems like most of the people we've talked to have had some sort of experience. Maybe it's not happening as frequently as maybe we would like. It's been forever since I saw one. I go out there every night whenever I go and walk my dogs. And I go out there and I'm looking up. I'm like, all right, is tonight the night? Am I going to see something tonight? I even start asking. I'm like, it's been a little while. I would really love...
You've been having a hard time seeing them too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really been seeing anything lately, dude.
That being said, I live in Houston, or right outside of Houston, and there's a lot of light pollution. I can only see like, I don't know, a tenth of the actual sky. So it's kind of hard to do it. But I don't know. I don't give up hope because I know that I experienced it at a time in my life, and I know the next time that I experience it will be the perfect time for me to experience it. And we don't need proof every single day, but some people get it. Some people are lucky enough. Like, so Crystal, do you feel like you can go out there just about any night and see it?
Yeah. I've been doing it every night, or I used to be able to wake up like at 4 or 5, but now I can't. I'm not that young anymore to stay awake that long. But yeah, anytime, every day.
Wow. All right, we're going out there tonight, Sean. We just
you have to put
to.
a good word out for us. Just put a good word out, and we're gonna go look.
Billy, holla at your boys. Okay.
With the phenomenon, I forgot to say, sometimes I don't know if it's the phenomenon or now that you're because you psychically you start being more aware. We start hearing our names being called in our home. And it's not the house because it's wherever we live. And sometimes the voices will mimic my children's voice, like right in my face. They'll be like, Mom. And I'll wake up because in our culture, you're not supposed to be like, what do you want? Like you're never supposed to say like, what do you want? You just stay quiet and you don't say anything. But this literally happened to us a lot, that, and sometimes we see that somebody passes by, but it's nobody. Like one time I was washing dishes in the kitchen and my daughter and my toddler was asleep on the sofa, and my kitchen has like a divider and it has like a hole in it so you can see the living room and the hallway. Like you can see the hallway directly. My oldest, my son, was in his room and the hallway light was off, but I had the light on right there in the bar area where it's open. And I remember clearly seeing him walk out from the hallway from the dark. He went in the living room. I'm like, Giovanni, you better not wake up your brothers because they barely fell asleep and I'm trying to get, the kitchen done. And he stood behind the because on the divider there's like I have like shelves there, like the cupboards, and he was standing behind there in front of the sofa. I'm like, Giovanni, are you ignoring me? And I went around and there was nobody there. And my son came out of his room and he's like, Mom, what? And I'm like, weren't you just in the living room? He's like, no. So they appear like somebody
right now.
Yeah. Like they appear like somebody because my son has said that before. Mom, I heard you talking in the kitchen and moving things, and when I went there you weren't there, and I saw through the window, I saw that you were outside sky watching.
Okay, I just got the weirdest thing that just happened. So I've had this candle lit the entire time since you mentioned it, and I have not seen any smoke come from it at all until you just said that. Wow, and then it just happened again. Dude. What the fuck? Let's go.
When I've done readings with people, with this lady, she told me that she saw like a shadow like pass by in front of like the phone, but I clearly remember seeing like the lights dim out, like go dark, and I'm like, did you see that? Because I'm like, I feel like I lost vision there, and she's like, no, I saw a shadow like walk past you. And then I was doing a reading for my dad with his mom, and my dad was like, who's behind you? Because I was like sitting like this in the kitchen, and there's the stove, and you know how the stove lights there, and my dad's like, who's that standing behind you? And I'm like, Dad, nobody's there, the kids are in his room. And when I looked at like this, like right now, like on Facebook Messenger, I saw like a shadow there, and I'm like, what?
Oh.
Yeah, but it's not bad. Like there's good and bad, but it's not like, oh, it's evil, it's Satan, coming and get you. It's just like spirits that I feel like didn't transcend, or something bad happened to them, or they committed suicide, something depressing, and they haven't been able to like get out of that. Yeah. So they're like stuck here in the in between, they haven't moved on. That's what I feel.
And maybe, and people like to assign good and evil to pretty much everything out there. I think that is just, it's too broad. Because if you look at what we are, we've been great to some people. We've been terrible to some people. We have been,
that's true.
We have been seen as, oh, thank you. You've helped me out so much. You're such an angel. I've been told that. Then I've been told you are literally the spawn of Satan. Get away from me. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think that there are varying degrees depending on which, prism you're looking at and whatever the situation calls for. But like, maybe that's just what is going on with these things. Maybe it's not necessarily good or evil. It's just experiencing life from a different perception. And, I think that it's kind of weird that they might emulate your kid, but maybe that's just trying to come across as a familiar spirit. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a glass half full here.
Right. They tried to come off familiar, but didn't realize how creepy that might be.
Yeah, I told them to stop because it was freaking me out. Like things have happened in our home, and if you tell them and nicely, like they'll do it. They won't mess with you anymore.
All right. Well, this was such a fun episode. Thank you so much for coming and hang out with us, Crystal. It definitely sparks the curiosity. It gets you thinking, and I think that anytime you can become open-minded and curious about anything, that it just makes the world a little bit brighter. As long as you're not looking at it through the fear, lens. Don't do that. There's no real reason. If you think about it, anybody that is looking at anything in a fearful way, that is a primal feeling. It's primal. Fear used to be something that used to help us a lot more, especially maybe back when we were cavemen, if you believe that kind of thing. Maybe we were cavemen. I don't know. But if we were cavemen and we lived out in the wild and, all we did was just hoo, 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 or whatever, and your fear kept you alive. Your fear told you that a lion was lurking around the corner, or that, whatever situation it was, your fear was kind of like that precursor to that sensation or whatever was going to be happening in your life. I'm not saying that nobody should live in fear. I think fear can be a good tool to have from time to time. But if you're always looking out at the world through a fear-based lens, then everything's going to be scary. This place is going to be hell, and nobody's ever going to be able to save you from this, and it's just going to be absolutely treacherous. So I think that there's a time and place for fear. It doesn't have to be all the time with all things. I think this is a perfect example of it, because how can one look up at the night sky and see this crazy light show that is going on, and these things are moving in unison, and just automatically assume fear? I think that that's the wrong judgment. Maybe we're wrong. I don't know. Maybe what we're seeing are little demonic balls flying through the sky.
Definitely could be seeing demons. It's fine. It's fine.
And if that's the
Crystal,
case,
thank you.
I'll take that
so
L
much.
whenever that time comes.
No, thank you.
We'll
I
cross
like
that
your guys'
bridge when
vibe.
we get to it.
I love your guys' vibe. You guys just make me laugh. And I know you make other people laugh, because that's going to brighten anybody's day. Because sometimes, you're having a rough day and then you come up with, like on TikTok, you're scrolling and it makes you laugh, right? And it just cheers you up. So I'm glad. And I'm just happy that you guys are bringing cheer into the world.
Oh, we're definitely trying to do that, because there's enough of that other stuff going on all the time. So, but Crystal, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your story, and of course, continue to share your story and your experience, because there's a lot of people out there that I think would find a lot of value, just in knowing that somebody like yourself is also experiencing what they're experiencing, and it helps them too, and so this was a great episode, and just thank you.
Whenever you guys are in North Carolina, and if you guys ever want to go to the Brown Mountain Lights, I always wanted to go to Brown Mountain and see if we can skywatch there someday. You guys are more than welcome.
Oh, awesome.
To come skywatch with me.
Thank you.
Yes, would absolutely love that. We would love to make a trip up to North Carolina for the Monroe Institute regardless. Like that, that seems like a fun time.
And I'm not far from Virginia. The border right here is like 25 minutes.
Oh, that is Virginia.
From Virginia.
That direction anyway.
over there somewhere.
That part. The Eastern Seaboard. Yeah. So again, Crystal, thank you so much. And we would love to do it again. And maybe we'll just, you'll be one of our sky watchers. We have a few of them, and we love having the conversations, and you're great, and keep up with the amazing footage that you're getting, because I think that for every bad negative comment that you're getting is subsiding with a good comment, a good curiosity, a good feeling that somebody else might be getting that maybe they're just not documenting, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, we appreciate all the good work that you're doing, and you bring just such a level of excitement whenever you're seeing something. Like, it really does feel like you're just a little kid out there just looking at the stars and just being amazed by it. That is a beautiful energy. So yeah, thank you so much for documenting your journey here.
No, and thank you for making us moms look cool.
Yeah. Yes, of course. If you would, could you let all of our initiates know where they can find you and all your good work?
The Girl from the Stars. On Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and now I might be opening on YouTube, because they're censoring me on Facebook and on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, they took out my likes from the triangle formation. I had like 150 likes, and they left me with 35, and they took out comments. And then on TikTok, somebody posted that my comments were gone.
Wow.
Yeah, weird stuff has definitely been happening on social media for sure.
Wow. What an illusion we live in. They're just, whoever they is, right? They're really controlling the narrative and what people can see.
Whoever they is, they can suck it.
Take that, they.
Suck it, Demiurge.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, look, we're going to put that information down in the show notes below. It is The Girl from the Stars with a Z. If you want to go search it on Instagram, we'll also put it down in the show notes. But also down in the show notes, you'll be able to see that we have a Patreon. And that Patreon is patreon.com/metamystics. That link is always down in the show notes of every single episode. And it's the best way to be able to support the show. We have multiple different tiers over there, starting at $3.33 a month. I mean, ain't too much you can get with $3.33, but we like to try and keep it that low because we think that everybody should have access to these kind of conversations. And especially if you want to get involved into the community, that's the best place to get involved into our community of initiates. So if you sign up for the $3.33 tier, you'll get access to all the shows days, if not a week or more in advance. You'll be able to see all of the video that we post. Over on YouTube, we only post one episode per week. Over on Patreon, we're posting 3 or 4 a week. So you're missing out on a lot if you're only just relying on YouTube. That being said, we do post all of the episodes on Spotify and Apple, but of course you're going to have to deal with ads. You're going to have to deal with the lag time. It's not going to be, most of our shows, we shoot them tonight, they're edited and put out tomorrow. And so if you want to be involved in that and being able to have access to all of that and join the community, that's $3.33. If you want to come and join us for the live show that we do every Wednesday night, we call it the Wonder Wednesday tier. That is $8.88 a month. So you'll get everything else, like we said, days in advance, completely commercial free, all the video, be able to join the community, be able to slide into our DMs. Maybe you have a show suggestion or a guest suggestion or anything like that. We are answering those messages on the daily. Come and check that out over there, and you can join the conversation for the lives. We've had Lord Byron Jester on the lives. We've had Cassandra Van Zandt on the lives. We had Santos Bonacci on a live. You want to miss out on these things? That's okay. But if you want to be able to ask these people the questions that have always sparked your, maybe we're not asking all the questions that we need to ask. That's where you come in. And so we've created this community, and we just want everybody to be able to have access to all the cool information out there and know that you are part of the one, you're a part of the initiated. If you find yourself being curious about all of these different kind of topics, this is the place to come to. So, and you can have a voice. Not many other platforms allow you to have a voice that we're trying to allow everybody to have a voice over here. So like we said, patreon.com/metamystics. That being said, if you don't have access to that, you can maybe leave a 5-star review or leave just a written review, whether it's on Spotify or Apple. It really helps boost up the algorithms. You can also come check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, I think Facebook as well. And all of it, of course, is at Metamystics. So, yeah, we appreciate everybody coming and supporting us in whatever way you possibly can. And Crystal, you are amazing. Thank you so much for joining the show tonight.
Thank you.
It's been
Good
so
night.
much fun. So, Sean, any parting words for you, sir?
Oh man, this was just a fun episode, dude. I felt like this is something that we all needed. You know, we kind of, like you said earlier in the show, we get caught up in the mundane and things can be stressful, or we can get caught up in the fear or whatever. But I feel like, you know, just some of these awesome experiences that people are experiencing is just, it's important. You know, it's important to get the information out there. And so, yeah, this was just another one of those episodes, dude, that just like brings a smile to my face.
Yes, love it. So, look, with all of that being said, if the girl from the stars came here and she taught you anything, it's that you don't know what you don't know. So don't just get weird.
Stay weird. Yeah, man.
That guy's really good.
Nice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just the sound of his voice, you know, just like gets you going.
Yeah.
You know? It's interesting though, because as I was putting my awareness to like, what is it that I need to know, or what is it that I've been kind of ignoring, or it's so funny because it's not even something that's like business related or you know, spiritually. I mean, I guess maybe it has something to do with it, but you know, lately I've been going to like Goodwill, and just, you know, I'll just take the family. We'll just go look around, and I just like finding little things, or little handmade things. Or but lately I've been looking at like the basketballs. You know, every time I see a basketball, I'll pick it up and like hold it, and like I just miss playing basketball. And every single time I'm like, you know, and then I'll put it back. Then I went and got the family some food tonight before we started recording, and passed by one of the parks that I used to play at, you know, just on the way back to the house, because it was on the way. And bunch of people, like more people at this park than I've ever seen before. Like it was almost like they had a tournament or something like that. It was just so strange, because like that's what I've been thinking about. And you know, like I said, it's nothing like super mystical, you know, like the thing that I was thinking about in the meditation. But yeah, I just need to have more, you know, have more fun. You know, like that guy was even saying, you know, just go out and play some basketball. Plus, it's just great exercise. It's my favorite exercise to get. You know, basketball is just, it's up there, dude.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
because you forget how much exercise you're even getting, because you're just
fun.
like involved in the game. You're having fun. You get a little competitive. You know, you want to drain the next three or whatever. And man, I got to get back out there. You know, I just feel like that is something I need to do for sure. And
Yeah,
then,
it's
I
funny
got to the
you
point, dude. I was starting to feel kind of shitty, you know, because I wasn't really taking care of myself as far as like what I've been eating and all of that, and I've really started to try to eat the right things and everything else, and I actually feel like it's possible now to get out there and play, even though I'm still not where I would like to be to get out there, you know, because I feel like I'm just a little too big or whatever. But now it actually seems like something I could do, but before it seemed like I'll probably never play again. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna get out there, dude.
Yeah,
Have a little fun.
it's weird to even bring that up because literally it was like 2 days ago. I was talking to my wife and the kids. I was talking
Mhm.
about I brought up you playing basketball. And I was like,
Really?
oh, yeah. I was like, you know, Sean's actually really good because my son, he's only 3, but he
Uh-huh.
asked me to try and spin the ball on my finger. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
I can do it for like 2 seconds, but I can't do much more than that. And then I brought
Uh-huh.
up how you used to put it on your finger and just keep on slapping it, and it would
Yeah.
just stay and stay, and it would like last
Uh-huh.
forever. And you would
Yeah.
do that thing where you'd roll it up your arms and then go back
Yeah.
down and
Yeah.
just like the cool like Harlem Globetrotter shit that and
Yeah.
that's what I used to think whenever we were younger. I was like, how do you do
Uh-huh.
that? And
Yeah.
and so yeah, it's funny because that was just like 2 days ago. But
Yeah.
yeah, my my experience was really cool actually. You know, I've I get a little personal on here, and I'm okay being open and like sharing personal things with my life, and I probably share way more than I should. But I'm like, I don't even care. First of all, I don't worry about judgment, and secondly, not everybody's perfect, and maybe if you can hear that somebody else is going through some shit or whatever, then maybe it makes you feel a little bit like less left out. And that's really why I like to share personal stories and stuff.
Mhm.
But you know, I've gone through the, you know, I feel like I put myself through more shit than I really need to. Like I'm one of those people that can't get out of my own way,
Mhm.
and or I used to kind of be like that. And yeah, it's so strange because I feel like something has always told me that the path that I'm on right now is the path that I should be on. You
Mhm.
know, like and whenever I would start to veer off, I would always feel a little bit disconnected, and maybe something was always off or something was always wrong or something like that. But every time I get on the path that I'm on right now, cuz I visit it and then I veer away because for one reason or another. And now that I'm back like on it and I'm, you know, everything's going really well and
Mhm.
family's great and we're having fun times and everything like that, I know internally that this is the right way. Like
Mhm.
it is just a knowing. And it's funny because that word that he mentioned at the beginning whenever he talked about
I already
ruach,
forgot what it was. Yeah.
it was ruach something.
Yeah.
But ruach is just like spirit. And
Okay.
that's like I don't know if it's Hebrew or Greek or Latin or whatever, but ruach,
Mhm.
it's said to be that like whenever at least as far as the Bible is concerned, they say that whenever the world was being formed, all that there was here was it was just waters, and the only thing that was in the waters, this is allegedly before all life was ever created. There was just water, and the only thing that ever existed that helped create everything else was the ruach, which is the spirit that hovered above the waters, and that's what went around and started creating the land and the trees and the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so strange because I feel like that stuff is always around. You know, I feel like the spirit of something is always around, and and you know it. And even maybe it shows up as something challenging or something evil or something scary or whatever. But if you think about it, every single challenge that you go through is only molding you into the person that you're meant to become. Call it fate, call it destiny, call it, you know, God's will or whatever, right? But like, I feel like, you know, our lives pan out in like a story fashion. Like it's like page after page after page, and you know, there's either evolution of the individual or there's stagnation. And with stagnation, you always hear about people who just come upon bad time after bad time after bad time after bad time. And this world hates me and God hates me. And why am I always so unlucky? It's like, maybe if we just shifted our perception and like, what if love literally, like you talk about like divine love or like spiritual love or God's love or whatever. Talk about that kind of stuff. I tend to imagine that every single bad thing that happens to you or perceived bad thing is just made for you to be able to overcome that obstacle. And of course, if you're not overcoming the obstacle, maybe it's just shitty day after shitty day after shitty day after terrible day after bad experience after bad experience, because every single, you know, harsh opportunity that presents itself to you, if you're not overcoming it, it's only going to keep on happening because it's trying to get you to get over whatever that obstacle is. And I've wondered about like, what is my obstacle with that? Is there one, maybe there's a bunch of different obstacles that we're meant to overcome and evolve and become whole and everything like that at the end. But what was my main obstacle has always been myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't get out of my own way because it's like, what do they say? Whenever you have too many options and you can't make a choice.
Oh, yeah. Like paralysis by analysis.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
That's where I've always been. And you know, sometimes it's fun to play in the gray area. Don't get me wrong. But fuck the gray, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just go towards that light. Go towards where you're supposed to go. If you, every time something bad happens to you, see it as an opportunity for you to grow from. And it took me a while to figure that out. And I finally, I'm not going to get too specific here, but I finally figured out what my thing is. And man, it's so great because as soon as you realize and you can recognize what that thing is, oh my God, does life get so much easier and so much better because you're now being put into the flow. You're being put into the fold of the page that you're meant to be on, and you can now go to the next page. And you don't have to stay on one page anymore.
Exactly.
And it's just a beautiful, like wholesome feeling whenever you can identify it. And anytime some kind of temptation or whatever it is, everybody's tempted in their own ways, right? But every single temptation is just, call it God, call it the spirit, call it the source. It is, let's just say source here for whatever reason. Let's just say that is the source that is trying to tempt you. Because remember that God is both, you know, good and evil, light and darkness, and all these things. And if you can overcome that temptation, then you pass the test. You're growing, you're evolving, you're becoming a better version of yourself every single time you pass whatever that test might be.
Yeah, and now you're able to, because now that you know what it is, it's so much more clear to you what that thing is and what it looks like. You know, the things around that thing, what that looks like, and so now you can have that self accountability. And I don't think there's anything more powerful than just the accountability that you are able to hold on yourself, not because someone else said this is what you should do, or not because these people over here say you need to do it this way or else, or, you know, like those types of outside sources. But if you can hold yourself accountable because you know, like, it's just the way to do it. You know, it's going to be ultimately just the best outcome, or you just know internally, right? Because it is more clear. Like, I don't think there's anything more powerful than that. Like, you yourself, you just know that that's what you should be doing because now you see clearly, right? Like, I don't know. I just think that it's funny too. I wanted to go back to you saying that it was like a story, like your life day after day, you're turning the pages. And if you think about it, man, you look at you watch a movie and you watch the main character, right? You know he's the main character, and he's going through bullshit, and maybe he missed his rent, so he got kicked out of his house, and then all his car's got a boot on it, so now he can't even drive to work, and you're just seeing all these bad things play out for this guy. But in your mind, you already know this guy is gonna have a comeback. Like, ultimately the best part of this scenario of this story is that he's gonna overcome, not being thrown out of his house, or he's gonna buy a new house, or he's gonna, get a new car, and then he's gonna get this job, and then, like, you just know that eventually that story gets better. Like, that's just ingrained, I think, in our mind. When we're watching a movie, we know the main character is gonna overcome.
And to put that to a macro scale, to get really weird here, that movie was only 2 hours long, and you saw the evolution of character and integrity and you saw that character overcome all those different obstacles and everything. You saw that in a 2-hour film. If you identify your life as a film, oh my God, you talk about a grander scale. You're talking about a movie that lasts potentially 100 years. Think about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if you're a character that is in a movie, it's so good. The movie is so good that the spirits or God or angels or aliens or whatever are so interested in seeing this movie play out that they want it to last a fucking 100 years.
Right.
Think about that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, right? Like,
pretty significant, I think.
People nowadays, they can't even watch movies anymore. Like, the attention span is just escaping them every 3 minutes or whatever, right?
Or less, dude.
Or less.
I imagine it's way less.
Probably, right? But for some reason, something, maybe it's just the all-knowing us, whatever that is, the I am, is so entertained by the movie that is you that they want to see it over the course of fucking decades.
Your whole life.
Every moment is crazy. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to look at it from that way. I
like that we took it there, dude. It's amazing what you get out of a 10-minute meditation. So
for real.
Came out of that seeing a little bit clearer, for sure, dude.
And you know exactly what it is too. Like, whenever he was like, now ask the angel exactly what you need to hear. And it's so clear every time. Like, it's I
right
guarantee you every single person had at least one thing that popped into their mind as to what that is. You could say, well, that was just my thought. Sure, if you want to look at it through that way. Maybe it's coincidental timing that you just so happened to think about that one thing. As he said, the angel was going to present it to you. Right? Like, we look at everything as if it's some kind of coincidence. Well, you asked for something in a prayer or a meditation or whatever, and it just shows up. It has to just show up because it has to go by what we perceive are the rules of this universe. Right?
Exactly, dude. I mean, I think about it as like we go out throughout our day or the last week or two, and like I was saying about seeing a basketball and like thinking about it, but then I'm like, whatever. Then I kind of move on, and it's kind of like when you skip a rock. You know what I mean? Across the pond, it's like, poof, oh, saw a basketball. Oh, saw a basketball. Poof, and then it finally just plunges in, right? Like, that's the meditation. Poof. And so now I'm just sitting with all of those moments of realizing, oh, I saw that, and then I saw that, and then I saw all those people at the park, and I have been thinking about, and it was just like, and then all those pieces just kind of come together. It's like, oh, that's something I should do.
Yeah.
And just make the intention of actually doing it. Rather than just like, oh, I saw this thing and then moved on to the next thing. And then before you know it, you're already 60,000 thoughts in, dude. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, that's the importance of meditation, dude. Starting to understand it so much more every single time we do it.
Yeah, I just saw, as soon as that door opened up, I saw like me holding, like, it was like a chain link of everybody in my family holding hands walking through the door.
Nah.
Like, it was super cool.
Some Tenna Cup shit.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it.
And then I also saw myself like in the gym pumping some iron. So I was like, all right,
of course.
okay,
Yeah.
I got it.
Gotta do it.
No,
dude.
I got to work
You know?
out. Okay.
Get your bun busters in.
But anyhow, all right, initiates, we love you, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Like,
Imagine what would have happened if we hadn't attracted the magic we had back when we couldn't fathom life is a fantasy, not with the vanity, not the way it was back then. So I grab my pen and write it down like a scripture. Mr. Mystic, making hits for the misfits. The show where you don't know what you don't know when it's on again with Sean and Jonathan. Yeah.